Microcontroller and microprocessor question and answers. What is microcontroller and how it is different from a microprocessor? Microcontroller is a compact integrated circuit designed to govern specific operation in the embedded system. It includes processor, memory, and I/O peripherals on a single chip. The difference is microprocessor. It is a general purpose, focus on computation, need external peripherals like ROM and RAM and I/Os to connect to the CPU. And microcontroller, it have memories and IOs are on a single chip. It is used to design specific tasks. It has a integration of all the processor and memories IOs on a single chip. What are the main components of microcontroller? CPU, it will execute the instruction. Memory, it have volatile memory, non-volatile memory, the flash and ROM memory, and IO ports to connect the external devices, timers and counters to manage the time-sensitive task or activity, and serial communication ports. It is used to exchange the data like UART or SPI, I2C, CAN, LIN, Ethernet, and other protocols. And we have the converters to convert analog to digital data or digital to analog data. We have the converters. So those are the main components on the embedded microcontroller. What are the types of memories in microcontroller? RAM memory, random access memory. It is a temporary storage for variables during the execution of the time. ROM memory, read-only memory. It stores the code or the program which we uploaded. And EEPROM or flash memory, it is a non-volatile memory for the data storage. What is the difference between the hardware and non-volatile architecture? So hardware architecture is separate memory for instructions and data that is a faster and efficient. One normal architecture, it is a shared memory for instructions and data. It is a simpler and the lower cost. What is the interrupt? Interrupt is nothing but the temporary halt to halt the main program during the execution. So this interrupt will take in a higher priority, and once it is completed, it will return to the main task after the completion. So mainly the interrupts can be external interrupts or internal interrupts. So that will be depends during the uh, main program runs or that are configured in the hardware program. How do you configure GPIO pins in a microcontroller? Set the pin direction in the data direction register. For input, configure a pull up or pull down register if needed. For output, write the desired value to the output register. What is a PWM, pulse width modulation, and where it is used? Pulse width modulation is a technique. It is used to vary the duty cycle of a signal to control the power delivered to the load. Usually to control the motor or the LED brightness, adjusting of the LED brightness or audio, adjusting of the audio signals. So this is PWM pulse will be used. What is the role of watchdog timer in a microcontroller? Watchdog timer, it will reset the system if the program is halted or the hardware is not responding properly. So we need to ensure that the microcontroller should recover from some software failures automatically if it is halted or blocked. So how do you interface a LCD with the microcontroller? So we need to understand the pin connectivity of the microcontroller and the GPIs. So we have the RS register select, and we need to ensure that read and write, and we need to enable the pin. So we need to understand the pin configuration based upon the pin connectivity. We need to connect. So we have to hand once the configuration is happened, we need to initialize the commands like it will be a 4-bit or 8-bit modes. So the data which we write to the LCD or read the data, so that will be displayed depends upon the program. How does the RTOS manage the task in microcontroller? So real-time operating system. So RTOS majorly it plays task scheduling. So it will prioritize the task based upon the timing, and it any interrupts it comes, it will be managed efficiently. The higher priority will be taken to the prior interrupts. And synchronization. So it will coordinate the task with the help of semaphores and mutex. And these are the part of artist topics, the semaphores and mutex. And memory management, it will allocate or reallocate the memory dynamically during the program running. And what are the power saving modes in microcontroller? We have a sleep mode. In sleep mode, CPU stops working and peripherals may remain active. So whenever the data is activated, that time the CPU wake and it will start working. And ideal mode, CPU stops, but timer and interrupts are active. And power down modes, so main function will shut down. Only the watchdog and interrupts can wake it up. So these are a very important for uh, a microcontroller to make active and inactive during the active during the program continuously running in the active mode. So what is the DMA? It is a direct memory access. It will allow us to transfer the data to and from the memory without a CPU intervention. So it will reduce the processing overhead and increase the efficiency. And explain the concept of interrupt latency and how it can be minimized. Interrupt latency is the time taken between the interrupt signal and the start of its service routine. So how we are minimize this technique? So with respect to the prioritizing the interrupt and use the nested interrupts and optimizing the ISR interrupt service routine code. And how do you test microcontroller firmware? So unit testing we can be performed like code level. We need to verify the writing of the individual function and individual models. We are testing it in a unit testing level. Integration testing, we combination of different models or multiple models we are integrating with each other. We are checking that the interconnection is between those models are working or not. And hardware in loop testing, so we are simulating the hardware environment for real-time testing. And code coverage analysis. We need to ensure that the code covers all the path and the loop related testing. So that's it about the microcontroller and microprocessor concepts.